name is Mara Tismona on the trauma. So do you if you might want to hear about that, please comment anything you may have. Like this video if you're new here or can't understand me. I have subtitles already uploaded for you guys, so please turn them on using the CC button in the corner of your video, in the top of the video, bottom of the video, not sure, and subscribe if you're new. So thank you, Mom, for being here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you, Anna. It is such an honor and a privilege. And just, wow, thank you for this fun gift and to invite me on your show. And I just think you are delightful. So just as you were sharing, my name is Laura Sharp, and I am the founder and the Chief Executive Officer for Artists for Trauma. And we are 2012, we became an official 501c3. So, but we started with our first life-altered trauma survivor 10 years ago. So it's sort of our unofficial 10-year anniversary. And that's the first time I've ever said that.
Wow, happy anniversary.
So you want to hear more?
Yeah.
Where would you like for me to start?
So my first question is, I know you're founder of Artists for Trauma. Do you want to explain what the organization does for those who don't know?
That's an excellent question. And even people who do know about Artists for Trauma and have known us for these 10 and 11 years, they sometimes still get confused. So I'm delighted to share what Artists for Trauma is about. Artists for Trauma is about providing all diverse artistic platforms in an adaptive format, speaking to whatever art discipline speaks to that individual's heart. So whether it be photography, film, sculpture, dance, music, it could be yoga, mindful movement, meditation. We also provide integrative health, which is we work with plastic surgeons and we help provide special, wish lists to some of our disfigured trauma survivors, like burns and disfiguring scars and that sort of thing. So how do we do that? We do that through artistic expression and human connection. And we, so you maybe can better understand why some people get a little bit confused about what it is we do exactly. We cover all the arts. And we also work with the artistry and professional medicine, like plastic surgeons who are artists and utilize the professional skills in the medical community to help soften scars. And not only in softening scars, you also improve functionality. And it's all about providing fun and empowerment to impact the quality of the life-altered trauma survivors. So we know that there are many, many causes of life-altering trauma, and I'll just share what a couple of those are. We know that some it's a sort of an awkward way. I'm realizing as I say it, it's like, well, when we're born with certain conditions, that's how your life is. So I and Artists for Trauma don't mean it in any way disrespectfully that, oh, now you're a life-altered trauma survivor. We're all born in different configurations, and sometimes it happens after birth, and it could be through, we share this in our brochure, and it's also on our website. It could be through catastrophic injury, aviation crashes. I'm a helicopter crash survivor. Traumatic car crashes, our civilian and military PTSD, ballistic trauma, which is being shot, gun violence, spinal cord injury, which is from a myriad of reasons, right? Rape and sexual abuse, domestic violence, civilian violence, combat trauma and fatigue, just to name some of them. So what do? We create fun and empowering, artistic, intersection, inclusive engagement, actual engagement, through all the different art forms, to bring joy and empowerment to anyone whose life is so impacted physically, mentally, or emotionally, by their trauma that they have to completely reinvent their life. And that's a process.
Right, yeah, I think it's amazing that you might do all the ones, because I know some places where I been do have an adaptive art studio, but they're only like painting and pottery and knitting and all that. But I have never heard of a place that you can really do all the art. But I think it's really neat.
Could you repeat that part where you're saying you had never heard of something
Yeah,
that?
I never heard of any place that you can actually do everything art related. But I think it's really neat.
Thank you, thank you. So we're really blessed with a very wide-reaching, incredible network of compassionate human beings who are talented artists across all the art disciplines that we discussed. You know, photography, film, sculpture, dance, music, and also in the medical world. And so before COVID, we used to do large scale events, much like what we did with the Rollettes. And so the world is transitioning back into that. We do have a really wonderful event ourselves coming up with our partner, Karen Michelle, and Artists for Trauma will be holding, it's called Love Your Body event. And it's about empowerment for girls and women and our body configurations, no matter what that may be, that we're all beautiful in our configuration. And so that's going to be October 3rd of this year, 2021, at the Lux Hotel in Brentwood, California. And when we were talking earlier, Anna, you had mentioned enjoying the opportunity to zoom in to the Rollettes Experience 21. And I am going to speak with my partner. We had been doing Zoom events, of course, the past 18 months. But I'm wondering if we might still have time to promote a Zoom intersection to provide this to you and other young ladies who might also want to participate but cannot physically and logistically get there.
That would be wonderful. And if you do, I'll put it down in the video description. Wow.
Great. Yes, everybody, please save the date. And actually, when we get off of our call, I'm going to reach out to Karen Michelle, my partner. She is the creator of Love Your Body event. And we have been their charity partner for 4 or 5 years. And now we are community business partners. And she's also on our board. And it's just a fabulous, fabulous event. And when the time comes, when we get off of our call, I'm going to reach out to Karen Michelle, my partner. She is the creator of Love Your Body event. And we have been their charity partner for 4 or 5 years. And now we are community business partners. And she's also on our board. And it's just a fabulous, fabulous event. And when the time, oh, can I tell you one other thing that might be renowned street graffiti artist, and his name is Risk. And we are in the process of, he has generously embraced Artists for Trauma to allow us to collaborate, and we will be collaborating with Risk and Risk Rock Studios to build an ADA access to this artist compound. And we'll be able to do all kinds of diverse artistic workshops. And it's open to all causes of disabilities and all causes of trauma, physical, mental, and emotional, not just Artists for Trauma. We are opening it up to cancer survivors. So it will be organized through Artists for Trauma, but it will be held and built at an artist retreat at the Risk Rock Studios in Thousand Oaks, California. So we are in the process of building that. And so your question earlier, or a comment, you'd never heard of anyone or someplace where you could do all these things.
Right.
Well, at this particular location, we're going to be able to coordinate and do all these exciting, fun things.
Amazing. I hope I'm out and visit that. That would be so fun. But my question is, when starting on the trauma, what was your journey and mission?
So when starting Artists for Trauma, what was my journey and mission? Artists for Trauma was created as an extension of the blessing of a really empowering and life-changing healing through art journey that following the helicopter crash that I was in 2008. And so three people, three precious lives were lost in that crash. We fell out of the sky and exploded on impact, and they burned. And I was blessed to be a survivor of that. There were two other survivors that were less injured, and I'm so grateful for that. One of them was my eldest daughter, and she actually pulled me from the flames. So that was pretty amazing when you think about that. So from that decimation, and I had to completely reinvent myself, I worked with 6 different artists that I know from my family. Again, photography, film, sculpture, dance, and music. So it was so successful and empowering for me personally. I wanted to pay it forward, my gratitude and the blessings that I received from people loving me through art and helping me to create when I could not move my body to manifest my ideas. So what we do is that was what started it. That's what started it. And now that's what we help provide for other people. And so the mission, again, is based on artistic expression and human connection with the goal to compassionately assist the trauma survivor to reinvent themselves so that they can accept the new them, accept their new self, and may that provide them the empowerment to reconnect with their families and to feel confident about transitioning out into the community in this new them. And yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree because I started getting really into art really deeply in high school because high school was kind of a hard time because no one understands disability in a public high school, or if they do, they're either one pretending to do so, or two, they'll actually really heal for you as a person, but they don't really truly understand because they're not disabled. And a lot of that came, and I talk about this openly on my YouTube channel. A lot of that was not only the high school, but also the teacher in that high school. They weren't trained, or they're not trained high school teachers or any teacher, period, if we're being honest, are not trained to adapt their habit, no matter what it is. For a disabled person, you're oftentimes like, oh, you have a disability? Okay, you do what disabled people do. We have a path for you. And they, in my high school, they had a art path for disabled people, and they had able-bodied students help disabled people do art. However, we weren't really doing art. It was them doing it for us.
I understand.
So I was like, now what? So I remember talking to my advisor at the time and being like, I want to take normal art classes. But ask me what everybody else is doing. And he said, are you serious? I said, yeah, that's serious. Not kidding, no humor intended. And he was like, okay. And I met my art teacher, had him for 4 years, and he adapted every single thing and actually adapted the normal program, normal assignment. And to this day, because of him, I do photography, and I have 8 drawing books that are packed with drawings.
God bless your friend and your teacher. To many of the points that you just shared a moment ago, it was so well articulated. As human beings, I don't feel that we're really trained on how to interact with huge differentiations. Especially when they're sudden and the people that you know, or if you've never been around it before, and people don't know how to act. And I remember realizing that, and I'm sure that I was probably guilty of that of some sort myself before the helicopter crash, as much as I would want to think and hope that in my service over the years, even in elementary school, and participating, and at that time in 6th grade, I was a volunteer aide with cerebral palsy children.
Really?
Yeah, to help gently exercise them and help gently move them, to move their body and their muscles. And I loved it. But, to your point, people, they really don't. They don't know how to react, and including the adults. And I feel there should be some type of training of a way that they do and that they don't act. I remember shortly after the crash, I want to say, because I was in a coma for a couple weeks, almost a month, and I was burned terribly and had to relearn everything. And I remember the first time that I went out and I was in a wheelchair. I still use a wheelchair as a resource. I'm very grateful for it, but I was in it 24/7 for at least 3 years. And it was very, very hot. And so I wore shorts, and all of my red, angry, gnarly burn scars from my feet all the way up my legs, and just really intense scarring all over, totally re-landscape. And I remember going in this juice store, and this is what I loved about children, especially, was this child just asked.
Right.
They said, what happened to you? And they didn't say, oh, what happened to you? It was the way that they said it. They said it with authentic inquiry, honest inquiry, and like compassionate and kindly, right? Kindly.
Right.
And it was, well, what happened to you? And I just loved that. To me, I thought, that's the way that if we don't know, that we should all ask each other.
Right.
because there's so much powerful, offensive, nonverbal language that happens to us when people don't know how to behave, the way they look away, like they're scared of us, or they don't know how to talk to us, or they're impatient. And I'm not saying it's their fault at all. I'm just saying that I recognized what you recognized. And, none of us are perfect. But one might think that here we are in the 21st century, and I do feel that we are improving as human beings. That will continue to get better.
Yeah, I really hope so, because when I'm out in public, I have to walk away from walk 24/7, and little children will walk by me and their parents will pull them away from me. Ask that child is asking a question. And I'm like, and at that point, I will go up to that parent, be like, I'm sorry, what did your child ask me? I'm open to, answering. They're like, oh, okay. And then they let them do it. I'm like, yeah, don't.
And that's so beautiful, that you help them. And that's what I find a lot is through the way that we handle it, we help them and teach them that it's okay. You can ask, and it's fine, right?
Right.
So good job on that. And I feel that it's an opportunity, and when we're up for it, I think that when we take that extra moment to reach out to people who, like, it's almost like they act in fear,
Right.
and fear is grounded often in not knowing what to do. So I think that, that's improving, but it's improving through the grace of the behavior that you exhibited and the behavior that on the other side that children exhibit and some adults exhibit. So I believe that we'll continue to get better.
Yeah, I believe that too. What where am I? There we go. What is art therapy and who can benefit from it?
So Anna, I thought this was an excellent question because people often confuse what Artists for Trauma does as art therapy. Artists for Trauma offers an opportunity for inclusive artistic expression, interactive artistic expression. And the difference between art therapy, and I'll clarify this for you, art therapy is a specialized area of mental health that uses art materials and the creative process to explore emotions, reduce anxiety, increase self-esteem, and resolve other psychological conflicts. So that's a definition of art therapy. What Artists for Trauma does not do is we don't analyze people's art. We don't ask them to analyze their art unless they wish to talk about it, unless it brings something up for them, or they're having, this human moment, and we can, as best we can, compassionately relate. One of the things Artists for Trauma never compares traumas. We may have like a similar injury, or may have similar or very different, but extreme mobility challenges, mental challenges, emotional challenges that one might think were the same, but they're just all relative, it's just all relative. And so we're there to support and provide the expression platform, but we don't analyze the art and ask that person to break it into, psychological application.
Yeah. When healing from trauma, when healing from a trauma accident, what benefits or
So again, you asked the best questions. And to me, I thought this was really a fun question because there are so many benefits. To me, one of the most important benefits is the opportunity to have fun, is to like just relax in this environment. There's no right or wrong way to do it, and to have fun, to play, and to, as you had noted before, and a previous experience from you, somebody else did the art for you. You didn't have the opportunity to do it.
right.
Artists for Trauma, the individuals, all the different individuals, children and adults, have the opportunity to create their own art. And so it's to, what are the benefits? Fun, play, build your confidence. And while you're playing, the magic starts to happen, in my opinion. I know that's what happened to me. So I'll speak for myself, and I'll speak for what I have been blessed to observe in others, which really moves me. And it reminds me that this is the purpose of the remaining of my life. The remainder of my life is to create this opportunity for others, because all this magic starts to happen. And while they're having fun, they start to, like, nerves start to slowly come alive, functionality, movement, the interaction with the artists and the other participants. So there's all this special physical, mental, and emotional benefits that happen from the opportunity to play and have fun and express. And to me, magic is powerful for that person, and to have the opportunity to observe, that is an incredible gift from God and the universe, and see where that person takes it.
Yeah, my computer did something weird. Yeah, I completely agree because I use art. So I have had some interesting, I'm gonna put it that way, interesting here in my lifetime. Because of my disability, I had people walk out on me, my hands, who I thought were my best friends. So because of that, I kind of have a few issues when people go back to college or back to school after being home in my town and with me on a weekly or even sometimes a daily basis. And so I use art to express myself whenever people meet or whenever something new happens. Like whenever I meet a new person, because meeting new people in person who I might eventually be relying on to either take care of me or help me or hang out with me, I hire young people my age to help with my daily living. And so whenever I meet somebody new, I'm like, do all the picture, and I'm like, whoever is my new friend, I put their name in the drawing, and then I add new friend behind it. Or every time somebody new comes home, or not new, one of my old people come home, I'm like, hey, welcome home, you know, and I'm gonna sometimes I'll miss more for fun.
What was the last thing you said?
Sometimes I'll miss do it for fun. Too.
Oh, that's a great reason.
Yeah.
That's a great reason. I love it. I love it.
And my question is, what your benefit like for people who might have more through trauma and looking to it via art?
So I would say that my biggest advice is that when you're ready, to engage in the arts, let's say that person is working with Artists for Trauma, okay? And I would say some of the advice would be, one is there's no pressure. There's no right or wrong way. And so when you're ready, let's talk about what kind of art in your mind and in your heart really moves your soul. And so then when you, that opportunity has been coordinated to meet and provide you a greater opportunity of quality interaction based on whatever that person's challenges might be, is that you just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. There is no such thing as perfection. We are all imperfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. And play and be moved by the colors. Be moved in your soul by the movement. And if that creates a spark of excitement in your heart, the magic is happening. And so do more of that. Do more of that at the pace that you can, because you're feeding your soul. What do we feed our body, mind, and soul? They're all kinds of food. This is creative food. And it really is what helps your soul, like self-hugs. It grows your confidence. It grows your motivation to play, and then the rest will come. So what is my big advice is have fun with it and let it feed your soul, and then do more of it as you can.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more. So if I like this video, if you're new here and like this video and want to see more videos like this in addition to my life with Terrible Pony, please subscribe, red button down here. It is free and costs you nothing. Turn on notifications, make a comment, make sure you know how on it for trauma. I will put everything down below on the top of the video so you can't miss it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah.